Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Peace Luv Biz. I'm your host Steve Higgins. I've just been connecting and trying to encourage communication, so my name's a little funny today. What did I end up going with? Yakety Yakkerson?
Olive branch,
Oh
yeah.
no, Olive Branchman, that's right. We're connecting. Yeah, reach out that olive branch. Yeah, that's good.
Yep, like that.
Mary, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. I'm hanging in there. We've got, 11 days. 11 days. And then I get to sleep. April 15th, tax deadline day coming up. Anybody now we're doing extensions for. Um, I think I have a total of 16, 18 extensions right now. So definitely not a tax year. Love that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not to say that anybody that needs help and will need an extension, reach out to us. Go to peacelovebiz.com, put a
Absolutely.
submission form in, and we'll take care of it and,
Yep. We'll
get
get
you
the
squared
extension
away.
in. Yep.
Yeah. Um, Today's
Busy
theme.
week.
Oh, yeah. It honestly, I was just thinking about how anxious, stressful, and I'm not the one that's doing the taxes. I'm the guy on beating the streets kind of thing.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I've already decided that I am getting tax season osmosis through Mary.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
but some of the client stories are a little crazy this week that we're probably not going to touch on too much. But the theme for this week's episode is on understanding your numbers for peace of mind. Um, which it's an important topic, and there's way too many people out there that are just going blindly. They don't look at any reporting, they don't have any accounting software. There's so many different examples, and I'm getting stressed and anxious just thinking about them. and and we're not even in
Real.
that position.
Yep.
So, if people are avoiding looking at numbers if they don't know where they are in the business and they're just going blindly. That's I love how we
Well,
keep going to red flags.
this is what they're doing is they're looking at what their balances in their bank statements. They're thinking about what outstanding invoices are coming in and going, okay, I can make that work. Um, that's not, yeah, I don't, you're asking to have mental health problems. You're asking to have physical health problems because the stress of that is insane. It's the stress of not knowing and just running on that objective or that thought process is gonna take its toll on you physically, but on the business, you can't run a proper business that way.
That's like you have the business having a cold or having a more serious illness and you not treating the symptoms
Yeah.
and just trying to you just using Tylenol or other brands are available, obviously.
Yeah.
Taking aspirin to, clear out an infection. Like, I don't know, like you're not
And
diagnosing the problem.
well, and for me, that's a red flag for me because I go, okay, what shady shit are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
What
There's a,
what shady shit are you doing? And we've seen it across this week. This I would say this week in the last 2 days, we have seen it where we have people expensing their loan payments. That's not an expense. So you doing your own books and expensing loan payments, and we have multiple people that we've caught this, and I'm like, that's not a thing. That is not a thing. Uh, you're doing your own books. Oh, that there you go. There you go.
yeah, and or they're undoing work that we've already done
Yeah.
to go and fudge numbers, and that's just an even bigger red flag. But
Yep.
it oh craziness. Um,
Yeah.
how you said physical. I'm just thinking about the ulcers that people probably have, the lack of
Right.
sleep, we know there's clients that have said that they aren't sleeping. Um,
Oh yeah,
and we try and prepare people as best we can, but they have to implement the advice or they have to talk to us so that we can help. There's no other way
absolutely.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so obviously we generate tons of reports month on month, year on year.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about how an everyday business owner will make use of various reports, statements, and how that can give a little peace of mind, or it can paint a better picture in their brain of where they are in their business.
So profit and loss. That's the first one right out the gate. Why is that important? Well, you want to know your gross revenues, what you're doing, and we produce for our monthly clients, we produce a report. When we produce a profit and loss, we don't just show the month of what are we closing? We're closing March. So we won't just show March of 2025. We're going to show you March to February, so month over month, to see if your sale, what your sales and your expenses are looking like month over month. If you've increased, if you've decreased, so we can analyze why, what's happening. But also we look at year over year. So we look at March 25 to March 24 so that you can see as a business, is there a trend month to month and is there a trend year over year? You want to be able to examine the trend. You want to be able to examine how that's showing up. And then the expenses. Um, and then, of course, the net. You want to see where the net is at because obviously you're not in business to not be profitable. So, you know, that's important. We've got to make sure that, we're profitable. And if you're not profitable, were you profitable last month? Well, what happened this month that you weren't? You know, so we compare that. That also, the P&L is a vital part of your financial statements because when you go for a loan, the banks want to see your trend of they'll go, hey, I need your bank statements and your P&Ls for the last 4 months. Is that matching up? Is what you're claiming in gross revenue in also being received in your bank account? People don't think that people check that. Banks check that. You're trying to get a loan. Anybody can put a number into a P&L. It's fraud, but you can do it. You got to make sure that the bank account is showing that you're receiving this money too.
Yeah,
Um, so that's just the surface of a P&L.
yeah,
Um, cash flow. I mean, do you have cash flow is vital? Not. I mean, cash flow is important. Don't get me wrong, but we focus a lot on P&L and balance sheets because it's so messed up most of the time when people come to us. Cash flow is important because you want to know what your cash flow is coming in. You want to know how much is coming in, how much is going out. You want to know your liquidity. You have to know your liquidity. Um, Mainly because, and this is no joke, so many businesses um, fund fund their expenses through credit cards. It's amazing. Like someone this week, and I probably have out of the 70 some odd clients we have, I would say 2/3 of them have at least 9 credit cards associated with their QuickBooks. So that's great. You have 25 transactions. So, oh, it's super easy. I only have 25 transactions a month. Okay, in your bank account, but you're supporting everything else through your credit cards, and all those have to be also recorded. And that leads to then your debt to income. And if you're using a personal credit card to back your business, not advise commingling, but then make sure that nothing personal is going on that credit card. And that ties back to cash flow because if you're funding the business, the expenses, all with that credit card, then your cash is constantly going out to pay it off,
yep.
and you don't have a
And,
true budget.
and I know we've said it before, but numbers tell a story and they paint that picture. So
Mm-hmm.
the more people get to understand it, and they can we we don't expect people to be accountants. We don't want people to
No.
be accountants. That's what you've trained your whole life for. It's what I've got a degree in. It's what we've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
We just want them to be active business owners and care about the numbers enough so that they know where they are in life, what they're doing, where to improve. You know, if you can see deficiencies, if you can see red flags in your numbers, then that's huge.
Well, like, I mean, we say a lot, like, we talk a lot about our problem children, so to say, and the red flags and what we look out for. And I will say we do have some amazing clients. They've been with us, but the they've been with us, but they've learned. They were coachable, so they learned. Before I could even review their financials for ending March, I already had my client email yesterday go, "Hey, I looked at the financials and I she had a loss, and a legit loss. It wasn't much, but she had a loss, and nobody wants a loss." She said, "So I'm thinking this, this, and this." And I went, "Perfect. Let me work on that. Let me come up with the best strategies. Let me meet with Steven and we'll come up with some other possibilities." And we got to work on it. But she was active in it. She went, "Hey, I need to do something. What do you think about this?" And kudos to her. She
It
understands it.
it makes a massive difference, because you're either driving your business or your business is driving you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Whether you have control or not, knowing the numbers is an important part because I and this isn't necessarily business, but from when I was working for a media company and numbers was important, I got arguably overworked and stressed, anxious, constantly thinking about it. I got sick and then I started to underproduce because of the anxiety that lived inside because of the need for numbers. Yes, it's a different type of numbers as a salesperson, but the stress that pressure puts on the body, on the mind, it's not healthy. So if this is a way that you can alleviate it's massively important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
Um,
and that's that to your point, and not necessarily numbers, but this is how Peace Love Biz began with you and I,
mhm.
is because I let go of a client last August, and it was the stress from it was just insane. It was I am not a micromanager. I hate micromanaging. If I have to micromanage you, you should not work for me. And we tell every single person when they onboard it with us that, and they don't believe it. And then after like a week or two, they go, "Well, you really don't micromanage." I said, "You're an adult.
Yeah,
I'm not going to micromanage you. I give you a task, do it. If you don't do it, and if you don't do it, you better have a good reason why. Ask a question, give me information, but I'm not your mom."
yeah. And it's funny that we have to tell clients that too. Like,
Yeah. Like, I
we.
literally had a client say that to me today, and I went, "Dude, I'm done with kids. I don't have that job anymore. So
Mhm.
trust me, this is the only time that you're gonna hear me talk to you like I'm your mom, because I can't stand having to micromanage. I can't stand having to be someone's mama. I ain't someone's mama. My kids are gone." My other
Having
kid, she's grown. I don't have to be here. I don't have to tell her what to do. I am not in the business of being someone's mama. Mm-mm.
Nope. And that's it. We have two types of clients here. That's what we've always said. We have adult clients and we have kid clients. The kid clients are
Mm-hmm.
the ones that need their hand holding. They need to be coachable. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Kids should learn over time, but they
Yep.
have to be open to it. And those that aren't, just the driver's bonkers.
Well,
Um,
they don't. The ones that are not coachable. I mean, all everybody when they first start with us are like our adult children, And we navigate, we teach them what we do, we teach them what they need to be aware of, we coach them on all these things, and they eventually graduate and they're solid.
Yeah.
um it's the ones they really take themselves out. The ones that are not coachable, they show their ass within 6 weeks of it. And we know it. Honestly, when we meet with them, we know out the gate that they're going to be a problem.
You can feel it in your stomach straight away,
Yep.
and we've talked about it before, but it's the I do my own books. I'm good. I oh
And I'll say to Steven, I don't want this. I don't want it. And Steven will be like, Mary, Steven's the forever ending give him another chance person.
I
And
yeah.
and God bless you for it, because you're a hell of a lot nicer than I am on any day. And I'm like, screw that. That's gonna be a headache. I know it's gonna be a goddamn headache. And it is. It ends up being a headache, and I always want to be wrong, and I'm
Well, and
normally not. But we do it.
but yeah, I know. And there's me saying but straight away. But but I don't know. Yeah, lipstick on pigs
Yeah.
rings a bell.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
I That's my problem as a salesperson, as a business development person, as somebody that was always taught you always make that one more phone call, you always make that one more try.
Yeah, absolutely.
If somebody wants to come aboard and they want, you know, you get three strikes in my head. The third strike, you're out. Like that's it. But they have to be pretty egregious problems to want us to have them gone. Um, so, um,
Well, I mean, it's just, if I'm starting to stress out, like, I can't. If you're a stress for me all the time consistently, you gotta go. Like,
yeah,
I just
yeah.
you cannot put a price tag on peace. You cannot. I
No,
don't
and
care if you're paying me $1,000 or $100. I don't care. I will not have you stress me out.
and there's no emergency in accounting, so that's why
Yeah.
we shouldn't have the stress. Like, nothing is a do or die situation. So it
Yeah,
people
and
need to
thanks for
figure that
saying
out.
that. Sorry, but thanks for saying that, because you know, there are there are very few times where I'm like, we got to talk now. And I did it
Hmm.
today to a client, but we had to. It was important. Because they were closing on something this week, and I had to make sure everything was straight for that closing. And it's either today or tomorrow, I can't remember. But then I have somebody else that literally, oh, okay, I need my taxes done, go through the whole thing, get all the information, not tech savvy, so I'm getting text messages of stuff. And God forbid we use email. I use email to create the paper trail, but that's too much. And all of a sudden it was, okay, well, I can't proceed. I got to stop everything. Fine. And that's okay. We stop everything. Oh, wait, now they want to proceed. So now it's an emergency for them. That's not how relationships work. And we're not transactional. If you want to be transactional, go to somebody else. It's not us.
I have plenty of people I can recommend that are transactional,
Mm-hmm.
but if that's what people want because they do their own books and stuff, I'll give you that recommendation, no problem.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
let us know.
Yeah.
Um, Realistically, going back, we're talking about understanding numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers help people make decisions in business and in life in a lot of ways. We know that people have goals and things that they want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are some of the ways that people use P&L statements, balance sheets to make decisions? What would you say are a few things that people
Well,
can
so
do?
the balance sheets speak volume. The balance sheet's important as well, because the balance sheet's showing what your assets, your liabilities, and the equity, meaning the basis of your company is. You want a positive basis. So if you're taking out more money than you're putting in, that's a problem. That doesn't work. If you have more loans than you have assets, that's a problem. Um, the balance sheet takes a picture of what your business is over a certain time period, what that looks like, and it basically says, hey, you have equity and this is working in your favor, or you have a crap load of debt. That's what it's telling you. The P&L is important because the P&L then tells you how, on your net side, how much, and on your net side, but all of it's important. On the net side, what you're able to pay off to lower that liability, because both of those are needed for you to continue to grow. And I say grow meaning expand. Um, we have a client that she really didn't want to expand, and then we went, well, if we do this, your revenue, you can hit $1 million in revenue, or 500 within the first year, and 1 million within 2 or 3 years, and then you're actually doing far less work by expanding your business. And we explained that to her, and she went, oh my god, yep, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
She has good balance sheet, she has a good P&L, she takes care of her personal credit. We're working, another shameless plug, but we're working on establishing, building and repairing personal and business credit. But that then helps you get in line to then buy that brick and mortar, like she's going to end up doing.
Yep.
All those matter because the bank is going to need it. You want to, whether you're buying a fleet of cars, you're buying a brick and mortar, you're buying 3 brick and mortars, regardless of what it is, you need all those because they tell the bank the financial health of the company.
It's important because you see people struggling along, like in their business. They're like, I'm on my own. I don't have enough time to do this stuff. And then you look at the balance sheet, you look at the statements, and it's like, well, you've got the money. Why don't you hire somebody to do the tasks that you don't want to do so you can focus on doing what you're good at? We've always been big advocates of being the expert in what you do. And the numbers tell the story. It's a paint by numbers in a lot of ways. So if your assets and your liabilities are lining up so that you have the equity that you can put in the right places, then it's going to make sense.
Absolutely.
Um,
And to your point is do what you do. So yeah, like when we brought on my executive assistant, it was hard for me to transition, but then I was like, I mean, that took all of like 2 hours. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have to do all this. And I just sent, now I'm just like, yours, this is yours, this is yours, this is, I don't even touch crap. I love it.
Mary Mary was literally a different person a week later. It was amazing. It was like
Yeah.
she'd been on a crash course weight loss program. Um, like,
One day. But
like
yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
it was,
lost 1 million pounds just
yeah. I mean,
in
I was
brain
just
weight.
like her, and you have to have that connection. Like that's just like our clients. But like I met with her and I was like, this is how I am. And people really either, it's hard when you meet a transparent person, which that's my name this week, Miss Transparency. If you are not used to a transparent person, it is really hard. I'm a very transparent person, so someone that is always full of crap, I can't deal with. It's really hard. I won't get used to it. Just get the hell out of my life. I can't deal with it. I can't.
Yeah. Um,
And I was super transparent with Emily. Love me, love my Emily.
Thank you,
And
Emily.
she was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, you really don't micromanage. No, I don't. Let me know if you have a question, and she'll ask. She realized, oh yeah, she really means it. Like if I have a question, I can ask, and she's not going to go off on me. No, you can't know what you don't know. So ask the question.
Yeah. Well, that's it. The stupidest question is the one that you don't ask. That's always been the way.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, massive believer of that. You mentioned it at the start of that little section about how you know where you are and you can establish trends.
Right.
Um, and that allows you to adjust, which is massively important, especially the way that we do the reporting, where you can see the comparative year by year for each month. You can see over, how those go. Um, if you start to recognize those trends, you can make plans and accordingly. If you know you're gonna have a shitty winter because weather dictates your business, that means you've got to double down in summer. Like you
Yeah.
have to put those strategies in place so that you're not eating ramen noodles for Christmas dinner. Like,
Right.
which I wouldn't knock. I'd do it if I had to.
And
Um,
I'm laughing maniacally, not because I'm completely insane. There is a reason. I'm laughing because we literally had this conversation
yeah.
with somebody telling
And
us how they couldn't because it's wintertime. I was like, right. So
so
why
what
didn't you
else are
sell
you
last
doing?
summer?
Well, but the other thing is, why don't you adjust? If you can't
Right.
work outside, why don't you go in home and use the skills that you have?
Yeah.
Like, there's ways of doing it. And I talk to other people in the industry who have experience up north, wherever it is that's affected by weather, and like, so I this guy goes to a lot of conferences, and the people in those areas, they pivot to basically handyman services. They do kitchen bathroom remodeling. It's like, why couldn't that be done?
Right.
And it goes back to work ethic. It goes back to giving a shit about your business and giving a shit about your position in your life. So,
Well, it's do better. I mean,
yeah.
that was our theme this year, and we've stuck with it. Do better.
Hmm. Yep. Um, I think we're kind of wrapping up. I think that we've kind of covered it, but last thing really is set realistic budgets. If you think that you need the help, set a budget, find somebody that can help, find a piece of equipment that can make your life easier, whatever it is. And you know what? Talk to your accountant about it. They probably have a connection, whether it's us or whether it's somebody else. Um, the transparency is huge. If you are struggling, get with somebody that can help, even just the talking about it. Sometimes Mary will call me. She'll say, "I've got this going on. What do I do?" I don't even say anything, but Mary's come up with the solution because she said it out loud, and I've just been a sounding board. Sometimes you just need a sounding board. Um, but yeah, yeah. I said it last week. My dad always said, "There's no point having a five-figure salary and a six-figure lifestyle." Like it, my dad's gonna have to come on one day. um, but yeah, yeah. I wonder, I wonder if that's why the price of groceries has gone up because nobody's buying in store and cooking themselves anymore. Just supply and demand. Like demand's not there, so prices have got to go up. Um, yeah, we got to a point where we felt guilty for ordering takeout, and it's like I feel, and we were doing it maybe once, maybe twice a week if we'd had a busy week, and I was just drained and I couldn't do it. Like last night, I think last night I was like, oh my god, I'm exhausted, and I cooked dinner late, but I cooked it, It didn't make it through the rest of the night because I went and played basketball, but that's another story. And I'll let everybody else decide what visual they want to take from that. But I got to get in shape, and round is not an acceptable shape anymore. Um, yeah, I need to go more go more rectangular, um, like I used to. Um, last last thing, like Mary said, live within your means. But when you really understand your P&Ls, all of your different reports, then it allows you to make decisions with confidence. You will constantly second guess yourself in life. You'll always 2020 hindsight is 2020, and that's great. But the more you know your numbers, the better sense of you'll know that you're doing something that you can do with confidence. You'll be okay in the decisions you make. Um, no more sleepless nights, no more surprises, and no more wondering if you can cover your own expenses and your bills. Like, last of all, I guess, is if you want to figure out what your reports look like, and if you don't understand your reports, that's okay. Get with a professional. We're here to help. Go to peacelovbiz.com, comment. Anybody that shares this, we have some cool little swag items now. Anybody that comments and shares, I might be sending goodie bags out to. So, um, yeah, we'll help you guys however we can. So, I guess until next time, have a peaceful week. Yep. See ya.